Welcome back to my third class in Azure DevOps Server 2019. So we were talking about detail, not detail of course. I'm not putting this detail. I'll just put as introduction. The reason because I'm not going in detail for everything that requires corporate access. I have this community access. So I'll just be introduction and all this. So we have gone to overview, we have completed summary. It's the same thing, overview and summary. I don't know why these two things have to be there. It's the same thing. We have completed this dashboard where we have seen this one. We have seen the wiki, how to create this document. Now is the time to create work items. Now we'll go nice and easy. Here you see, here you have this option. So for time being, we'll go for boards, backlog, sprints. We'll go one by one. Okay. Now this is the complex part of this whole project management tool. This is a project management tool. It's, I would say, more project management rather than test management, because a lot of things are there here, which I will hide this one for time being. So you can maximize this, but I don't require that one at this point of time. So guess what? Here I can create. First, we'll try to create user story. You know what? We'll go ahead and create a user story. So what is a user story? User story is a requirement. Okay. And we'll go one by one. First we'll create user story, then we'll create a task, then we'll create a test cases. Probably that will take more time, but then it will be better understanding for you. So user stories are created by product owner. Product owner are in waterfall methodology. So this is all in agile. We are working in Kanban process in agile. Okay. Agile methodology. So what happens is business analyst in waterfall methodology is called product owner in agile. So that's the reason I keep calling this product owner. Okay, so since I have this admin access, I'll go ahead and click. Why this thing is see, that was the bug. I have to create a bug in this itself. Okay. So now I have these many options, although you don't have these many options. If you are a developer, you don't have that much options. Okay. Now, new user story, great. Now, what happens is this has iterations. Iterations is like sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, kind of. Intertitle. Okay, so as we know, as I told you before, right, we will go to GMO first. Do we have this? Okay, good. So I'll be using this application. So this is application that need to be tested, or it has to go into production. Let's assume this application. This is a sample application where we will be using for our for testing for our creation of user story. So it says user story. So design or develop, like let's put develop and testing of GMO online project. Guess what? This is what the user story I'm going to create. This is the user story, right? We put as a new, well, it should be not new. The reason area is item maker testing. Unless you have this 2-3 projects running around, you can change the project. Iterations, if you know this iteration, which iteration you will be going into, we can change this iteration. Great. Description, very good. So here what I'll do here is take a screenshot and I use this thing. Guess what I'm doing here? I'll be using Although the business owners, I'm sorry, product owners are not so efficient of doing this work, but I'll be showing you right here why I'm doing this. Okay, let's save this, save it, and I'll put it as user story. I'm sorry, GMO online, and save this. Let's remain like this for here. So here description. So okay, I can assign to this a developer, or it most probably I'll be assigning this first for a developer. Okay, or the person who is actually responsible for this, for designing this, architect guy, or the guy who is most probably the architect. So architect has to design and see what's happening, what to do with this. Okay, so description. So to develop and test web application. So we are working on web application at this point of time. So of GMO online. Since you don't have much of information here, you have to put a hell lot of information, but no information. Please view the screenshot of the project of the, So what I'll do is, I hope this guys have this option of putting this image. Oh wow, so I'll just put this thing just inside my description. So what I'm telling to whoever it is, whoever or whatever people working on this, I have created a user story, alright, and I'm telling them to, this is how the screen, this is how it should look like, right? This is how this GMO online project should look like. And if you have any corrections, use this option. Acceptance criteria, that's good. All the features, all the functionalities, oops, sorry, functionalities and features should be tested, and regression. So this guy is very particular about this guy, so regression testing should be completed. Now there is also performance testing, that's the reason they have this low testing, but before going into production, right? And I have included this priority. This is my first priority, and risk high. I don't go to high at this point of time. And I'll put as medium, and the value area, yeah, here's the deal. So that's the reason I told you, right? Is it a business point of view, or is it the architect? So here's the thing, the hierarchy of an developer or tester. Here it goes. The lowest guy is a developer. On top of that, this guy is architect. On top of the guy who is this dev lead. On top of the guy is the dev manager. On top of the guy is the dev director. On top of the guy is CTO. On top of the guy, so this is the hierarchy. So we are not going till there. So here, so you have this option, architectural point of view or business point of view. So we, for the ease of convenience, we'll put as business. So since architect also is involved in this, because there's ETL process and a lot of process which gets there. Alright, since this is our first user story, there is no related work. If there is any, you can add it as an existing item. Let's see here what it shows. If you know this, you can go ahead and put up this. But since we don't have this, we'll just leave that thing as blank. Oh, story point. Let's say this is a long-term project, but since we are working in agile, there is nothing called long time. It's a sprint. So iteration 1. Let's say this is iteration 1, and it will take some like 6 iterations, maybe. Let's say 1 page, 1 iteration. There's a second page too, second iteration. There's a third page too, third iteration. So that's how you can classify this for at this point of time. So what you would want to do is story point I'll put as like 8 hours. Or oh no, wait, we'll story points you can put as hours or days. So here what I'm trying to do is we'll put it in days, right? So 5 days, right? That means 1 week. This this should be completed, right? Okay. Or you can put it as like in 1 sprint, since 1 iteration will coincide 1 sprint, but you have other work to do, so you don't want to mess up with this. So 5 is good, 5 days. Okay. I'm putting in days. You can put in hours. Okay, there's also option for hours, but in this I guess days will be better, but it's up to the team and how they want to handle it. Add tags. I can add tag like GMO online, and anything else want to add. Okay, so GMO online is Green Mountain Post, actually Green Mountain Outpost. So the we want to develop and develop and test of application, web application. Let me just be more clear on this. Normally you don't be clear on this. I know what testing is appropriate words. This English gets really garbled when you are using this technical things. Develop and testing of web application. Guess what? We'll just put as develop web application GMO online project. This should be good. Or guess what? I'll just remove that one. Don't want to mess up with English. It's kind of odd, right? When you say noun, when you're adding, you can add ing for only for verb, right? When you come into the English, right, things don't make sense. When you add this ing, you have to it has to be a verb. But when you put for a noun, it's kind of bat. Bat is a bat where you use this bat as a noun, and if you are adding ing, the batting, you're batting. So it doesn't make sense. So, it's only for verb, and you're adding ing for that, and you're making noun as a verb. So okay, let's not worry about that one at this time. And this is pretty much. And we in the left hand side you have this option. You can just go ahead and see this history. You have this history. This doesn't show history because it's not created it. If you have any links that means related to this, you can add links. Attachments. If you have any attachments, of course we do, right? We have attached. If you don't, you can attach the requirements and say this is the requirements. This is not the requirements for this, but we'll still upload this one. The reason because you have to see the requirements, and this is more detailed structure of a requirements and all those things, and go ahead and click on save. Now what happens is, now I'll go back here. We have successfully created a user story. How do we know? Let's go back in the boards. If you see here 22 unassigned. Now tags. I have these tags and activity date is shown here. Okay, and I want to assign this, so I'll go ahead and click on this, and for now only one guy is there, so I'll put assign to that guy, that's me, and go ahead and okay, good. Now my ID number is 22 and it is a new state. No, I don't want the new state, I should be in the active. So what I'll do here is I can go back and edit here. Very good. Now it's opening stuff here. Go ahead and click on active, and the reason implementation started, and click on save. Go, very good. And once you go ahead and go back here, you see here this icon changes from blue color, that means it is active, and you have all this option. So this is how you can create a user story in Azure DevOps Server 2019. They might change in 2020, it will be completely different, but I mean this is how you can use this one. Okay, once you have created this user story, you can since there are only few here because not much work has done. Okay, so we in the next class we will see how to write in in the same thing, actually in this work items, how to write in test cases. We'll go ahead and see this and write few of the test cases actually. Then we'll go to the boards, and then we'll go to backlogs and see what's happening here, and then after at the end we'll create bugs. We can create bugs too. First we have to run this test case. The way it is, once you've created test case you have to run it. But okay, so this is how we have created a user story. What is the user story? It's a requirement. So web application GMO online project, that's an user story. All right, you can create from here another user story. You can go ahead and create another user story, and also we'll discuss about this later. And and you can have this option, lot of options. You can delete a user story. Okay, here you have this option of deleting. We'll hide this one for now. Okay, you have this option of deleting and opening queries. I don't know what it does. Oh, it's used for it's used for designing charts, to generate the charts here. So we are not working on this chart at this time. So when we will be reports section, once we'll go ahead and let's try out this, what's the column option. So this column option shows you what column ID should display first, right? And how it should be displayed. So you can you have this choice of having this ID. So ID is the first, and then title of course is the second, assigned to state, area path. Let's say I don't hold on. Area path. Okay, guess what, let's say area path is not that important for me. Comment count, let's say comment count is not important, I'll remove that column. Activity date, okay, it's important, but I want to know this and click on OK. So this gets sorted out. Okay, and since for me area path is same, so what I'll do is I'll just remove that too, so that I'll save some space out here. I'll save some space. But you can add as many. You can also add a column. Add a column and assign any, if you have any acceptance criteria, accepted by, activity date, or area ID. There's a lot of options here. Who authorized it? Board line. Oh my God, this is this place is endless. We don't want everything here. Okay, at least I don't want everything. Reviewed by, who is reviewed, severity, what is the severity of this user story? I don't care the severity of user story. I am the tester. If even if you're product owner, I probably don't see any severity for that, but still you have this option. Start date, of course this might be useful. Steps, story points, probably I might consider that, because I might also require that. And then value area, watermark, work item type, and close this and click on OK. This activity, you see here story point got added. So again, this is taking it too much space, so I'll remove this tag thing and I'll save some space. So this is how you can use this user ID. So, I'm sorry, user story. ID is, I want this ID to see here which ID I'm using, and the book, you see the bookmark means user ID, and we'll create test case. That will be our next class. Probably for me it will be tomorrow's class, because it's already it's too much time. So this is how you can create a user story as a product owner. Okay, and to open that user story, just click on this and it shows an options, a lot of options, and you see here history. Now the history got updated from new to active. Who changed it? This shows right here. Implementation has started, and okay, this looks good. Back to work items, and guess what? You can also write comments here. Discussion. Let's say developer said, let's say developer is saying like, the architect guy who is actually working on this says, we will be working on this project guess what, as per conversation in sprint planning, okay. So some dev guy, some senior guy who knows everything, or some manager, or your boss or someone, is like proactive. Every time he's proactive, he or she, and put this comment saying, as per conversation in the sprint planning, we will be working. This guy's English should be good. We will be working on this project once we complete existing project, and he goes and says this. So okay, so this product owner guy is now very he said like, okay, makes sense, I was in the meeting so I know this. So yeah, so that's how you can write comments in this. Okay, you can do that for almost anything. Maybe probably you can do that for the test case. So far we have created user story. In the next class we will be creating task, and then we will be at the same class will be creating test cases. So user story is something like requirements. That means a product owner is saying like, design this requirement. How do you know? Let's find out the user story. So this is the screenshot. Okay, so this is the screenshot, and this is a web application, and the user story says that you have to design such kind of application. So this is all not told, right? This only said only one screenshot. So the other screenshots will be working on the other iterations or other project or other or other sprint or other iterations they will be working on. So So that's pretty much about the user story. You know, if anyone would have any questions, I would answer that. But you can also change these iterations. Okay, which iteration you're going, iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3. If it's not priority, you know, how are you guys assigning this priority? And if you have we will work on this linking. How do we link in this attachment? Of course, if you have any attachments, you put this in the attachments. So that's pretty much about this actually work items, not work items. We are not done yet. Actually, we have to also work on test task as well as test cases in this. But as a matter of fact, it doesn't make any sense to add any test case here. Let me tell you why. Because we'll be going through sprint. Actually, we'll be going through sprint. Luckily, this got added here. This automatically got added. The only makes sense your test cases when it gets into the sprints. Okay. So one more thing, you know, we'll just hide this one more thing. You can classify. We'll just uncheck this. You can, you know, this you know, assign this as per your, you know, let's say you have hundreds of user stories or hundreds of work items here, and you don't know which one is. So you can you know, organize this based on assigned to. Let's say who is assigned to me, who is assigned to. You can organize this so that those things shows up first. Or you can assign with the type. You want user story, you want test case, you want task, you want bug. You can organize your work. That's how it is. This is in the design state, new, ready, and active. Area, since area we have not used this, so it will, or tags, or you can clear this filter, the all whole together. You can get back this here like this. So if it is completed, it doesn't, here it doesn't show anything. So that's how, you know, you work for you know, for this user story. So this is how you create a user story. So, you know, so that's pretty much, you know, for the creation of user story in work items. We'll be working on this again, this work item, and see how to create an task here. Okay, so we'll be just working on that. So for this we'll end it up here, okay, and continue in the next class. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.